Okay, so Tom dropped his list probably like 20 hours ago, but I apologize. I actually sleep on the East Coast, and I had to work today. So I got home, I watched it. I watched JP's, did you? Well, yeah, I did. And I'm going to review Comic Tom's list and give you 1.5 Remember Me picks. Stick around. Welcome back, family. Thanks for joining yet again here at Ohana Comics. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I watched the Comic Tom Hot 10 list, and there's a couple maybe, and a couple like, what the heck? Seriously? Oh, brother. All right, so coming in at number 10, Grimm number 1, the 1 in 100. 1 in 100 is selling for 110. Right off the bat, that tells me that there isn't that much of a demand for it. So, I mean, it just reminds me of every other overprinted, overpriced 1 in 100, Berserker and House of Slaughter and 1,000 other ones. The other thing that really you got to worry about a little bit is that to get this, you have to buy 100. A store has to buy 100 copies to be eligible to buy one copy. But Boom Studios actually will buy back any unsold copies. So if a store knows that the 1 in 100 is going to be, it's a Frizzen, is going to be hot, they can buy 1,000 copies, get 10 copies of that, sell 950, and sell 50 and return the other 950. So there's no risk for the comic book store. Whereas a lot of other incentive variants, they're like, well, you know what, I might get the incentive variant, but I'm going to be stuck with 50 copies of this book that nobody wants. So be very careful on this one. I personally think this is a no, you don't want it. Coming in at number 9, Conan number 24. First cover appearance of Red Sonja. And I almost was thinking Blit when I first heard the number. I'm like, no, it's Red Sonja. And it's the second appearance overall. Now, $160 for a Raw and a 9.6 selling for $587. This is a good book. Okay, this is definitely a book that you want in your collection. This is not the time to buy it. Now, this is a movie project that they've been trying to do for, I think they said 15 years. Other people have said it seems like 25, and I agree. However, the director and the actress have both left the project. But there's been some kind of news that production has resumed. But they haven't signed a director, and they haven't signed an actress. So what exactly does that mean, production has resumed? I mean, does that mean that somebody's out there just like filming landscapes or doing just background battle scenes, or who knows? I mean, I don't know what's going on with this or if it's a false rumor, but it has, of course, sparked interest, at which point now everybody is, I've got to get this book, which means we don't want to get this book. We want to wait. It'll drop down again once people start shutting up. And first appearance of Red Sonja, though, is, I mean, that's a forever character. I do also remember reading last week that Marvel has lost the rights to Conan and its properties. I think it's going back to Dark Horse. If that is true, then I don't know how that's going to influence this. So just for the time being, this is one of those books that you want to keep an eye out for in the future, but right now, keep the wallet closed. Coming in at number 8, who cares? Legends number 1, first appearance of Amanda Waller. $10 Raw, $160 for a 9.8. It's not a character anybody cares about. I mean, I don't know. This kind of reminds, to me, he's about as popular as that guy that was playing Galaga in the background on Avengers. I mean, I don't care what his first appearance was. So, $10 for a Raw, 160 for a 9.8, I mean, this is the hottest it gets, and it's Legends number 1 from 30 years ago, and it's $10. Whoopee. So, yeah, and the only reason it's 10 now is because they're talking about it. And that she might get her own spin-off show like Peacemaker did. I haven't finished watching Peacemaker yet. I'm still doing it, but I don't think I'd be willing to watch a show on just Amanda Waller. That does not interest me at all, and I don't know of anybody else that it would. Coming in at number 7. Okay, this is Marvel Premiere number 55. The first solo story with Wonder Man. Okay, there are certain characters that their first solo story, their first whole, it's yes, you want to get it. Blade's first story on his own, Moon Knight, Wolverine. It was at X-Men 136, 7. It's in the 130s. I know that, where Wolverine fights alone or whatever. It's in a whole story of just him. These are characters that I think, honestly, how to put this, we care about, we have interest in. Wonder Man, really? Wonder Man's first appearance, first off, was decades before this. Okay, so the fact that it took 20 years for him to actually get his own solo story shows a lack of interest in the comic book community. I just don't see 8.0 sold for 106, but a 9.2 sold for 86. So 8, 8.5, 9, 9.2, 3 grades higher, sold for less money. $8 for a Raw. Again, another book from the 80s, first solo story of a character, and its Raw copies are going for $8. That should show you that it's not that interesting a book. And what really sucks is I love Reggie. I really do. And the fact that he's the one that's talking about this on the video, I'm like, oh, dude, get out of there. Run away. Okay, so coming in number 6, Doctor Strange. And it's funny because I forgot to write down the number, but I knew the number. It's 175 because I've been trying to work on getting the Doctor Strange books, and I had 169, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, and I hadn't gotten 175 yet. Of course, now it's the list. So I'll have to wait. I'm going to have to do my own Remember Me on this book. So I'll be remembering myself as I'm remembering you, reminding you to remember this book in a few months when the price goes down, because this is not the time to buy this book. First cover appearance of Clea. Not the first appearance, but the first cover appearance. And that does mean something, not a tremendous amount. But, I mean, the reason I've been buying these Doctor Strange books is the cover art is just, it's off the hook, man. It's gorgeous. And I just want to get these things and try to, like 169 through, I'm thinking 180 or so. Just get them all slabbed. I think it'll make a nice display someday. Who knows? So anyway, the 175 though, $85 for a Raw and $735 for a 9.6. Now this is a 12-cent book. $735 is not terrible. However, it's inflated right now because of an end credit scene in Doctor Strange, the movie, which everybody is rushing out and getting it, which is inflating the prices. Here's my boy. And I think that this will, this is a first cover appearance in a Silver Age book. It's not going to drop a lot in value, but it will settle a little bit. And I would wait about 2 months for this book. Wouldn't wait more than 2 months though. Wait a little bit, maybe about 2 months on this book, because if the DVD comes out and it has bonus footage or more stuff with Clea, it's going to re-spark everybody's mind. It's going to jumpstart everything, and it's going to go up again. So about 2 months. So you're looking at middle of July. You want to try to look for this book. Okay? So going on to number 5, Fantastic Four 245. First Avatar appearance of Franklin Richards as an adult. This to me is about as important as Cable as a baby. Okay, was that X-Men 201? Who cares? It's not the character that we care about. Okay, I think everybody just sees like a first appearance of, and here he's an adult, and here he's this, and here he's this. Is the character that we care about. When you think about the Fantastic Four, I don't think I have it out. No. With the cocoon on the cover. Is that anywhere near as important as when you actually first see him? No. So the character that we care about, that's what's important. Actually, I got a really good one for you. First appearance of Norman Osborn. Think about that. As opposed to the first appearance of Green Goblin. Which one do we really care about? Which one is worth a fortune? Okay. So it's what we are actually caring about, not alternate versions of them that hold the value and really go up. So FF245, which has always been dollar bin book, will in the long run remain there. not the $15 for a Raw or $300 for a 9.8. No. Okay, coming in at number 4, Paper Girls number 1. And this one actually kind of shocked me a little bit on the prices. They reported $25, $25 for a Raw, $150 for a 9.8. Well, I actually looked on eBay right before making this video, and yesterday, 9.8 sold for $78. And the lowest I actually see right now is actually a buy it now for 120. So 150, no, you can buy it right now for 120 on eBay. So, well, that is if I don't buy it before this video airs. I've got it on the other screen. I'm looking at it. And the reason being is that this book is, it's becoming a Netflix show. Now, I don't know how long it'll last. It was a 30-issue run when it was a comic book. Will they expand on the story? Will it be like Stranger Things, you know, and really develop a cult following? I don't know. It depends upon how well they do with it. Netflix usually does pretty good. You think about the Daredevil and the Punisher series that they did with that, which are now absorbed into the MCU. They did a really good job with that. But then you look at other things like Iron Fist, they go, yeah, but they can really drop the ball too. But anyway, a 9.8 is in the $100 to $120 range is not bad of any key book. And this is a book that's about to go up. So this one I actually, if you can get it for a decent price, and I do mean the $100 to $120 range, stay away from the $150. Get this, and then when the trailer actually drops or the show actually drops and it spikes up again, and at that point, then you could sell it if you wanted to. Me personally, if I buy it, it's probably going to wind up going PC, and that's why I'm like, I don't know if I want it, because I really didn't have an interest before this, and there's other things I'd like to get my hands on. Such as, coming in number 3, Secret Wars number 1, 2015. Now, this one is spiking because in the Doctor Strange movie, the word incursion is mentioned, and it's meant to be when different universes collide, which is pretty much the theme of the 2015 Secret Wars run. And I've talked to other people at Syndicate, and we kind of like analyzed it a little bit, and I kind of agree with it. I think that the 2015 Secret Wars is going to be the Secret Wars that gets brought in to the MCU, not the original ones with the Beyonder and everything. Because actually the 2015 Secret Wars also involves Wanda's kids. So it's tying things together a bit more. $5 to $20 for a Raw, and 200, and they didn't say a 9.8, but I looked, and they're selling for about $200 to $230 for a 9.8. Now, I picked up Raws. Watch your shipping costs on this, guys. There was actually one on eBay that ended, and nobody purchased it at all. It was $4.69 for a Raw, and it looked like it was a really good copy. And it was like $19 in shipping. I'm like, no, I'm not paying $23 for this thing. So just remember, especially when you're buying a $5 book, if it has $10 in shipping, you're paying $15. So this is where you really want to try to get to the shows, get to the stores, and pick them up there. Even if you pay $10 at a show, as opposed to $5 on eBay, the cost of the shipping, you know, minus the cost of your gas going to the show. If you only go there to buy one book, you didn't enjoy the show. But yeah, this is something I would be on the lookout for, and over the next few months, it will come down a little bit in price. The Secret Wars, the 9.8, I don't know if it's going to come down too much, because it was already up there before the Doctor Strange. It hasn't taken that major jump in the 9.8s. See how it goes. That actually may go up a little bit and then come back down, but 200 to 230, I think, is what you're going to be looking at trying to pay. Coming in number 2, Vengeance, number 1, first appearance of America Chavez. Even just watching the commercials, you know that America Chavez is in the Doctor Strange movie. And Xochitl Gomez did a really, really good job. She did. And I see that character coming forward. And, going forward, I see her being in the MCU. I don't want to do any kind of a spoiler or anything, but she does definitely develop an attachment to the Earth 616 Doctor Strange. And I would love to see, I always believe that the MCU movies do not have to go page for page, as long as they stay in the theme, as they remain true to the spirit of the books. Okay, if I don't want it to be page for page, I just read the book. I don't need to go to the movies. We have another Strange title, which is very, very popular. I would love to see Strange Academy with America Chavez. Maybe as the first student, or maybe even one of the teachers a couple years down the line or whatever. Who knows? I think that would really be cool. Anyway, $300 for a raw, $12.50 for a 9.8. Now, this is a book that goes up and down. It really does, and right now it's in and up. I have a 9.4 personally, and I had two. One of them got destroyed when I was learning how to use my heat press, and I kind of melted it into a solid piece of cardboard. So anyway, I just lost the screen out of the screensaver. I had to move the mouse. I think that every time I do that and it reboots, it comes up with a little warning screen that says, you may be having performance issues. I'm like, who told you? No. The $300 for a raw, though, it's pretty high, and $12.50 for a 9.8 is very high. In a few months, as the hype dies down about this, because this has gone up ever since we've seen America Chavez on the screen, which we knew was coming in the long run. And there are other America books that you can get your hands on as well. Come here, you. Come here. I mean, this is a great cover. Not that expensive. The America Chavez series. And the second print, it's gold instead of red, white, and blue. That's a really short printing run on that. I got one of those on a 9 points. I got that in a raw, and I sent it in for grading. I got a 9.6. I was really hoping for a 9.8, but I'll take the 9.6. I'll be happy with that. But this is a character, I think, honestly, that is better received by the comic community, much better received than Miss Marvel. It seems like Marvel has been trying to ram Miss Marvel down our throats for so long. But America Chavez is somebody that we already like, and the actress did a really good job, well enjoyed by the audience. I would definitely be looking for Vengeance #1 in 2 to 3 months. I'll try to remind you guys on that. And coming in at #1, they didn't list prices on this, but Wonder Woman #1, the 1987 wraparound cover by George Perez. And it's because Mr. Perez has just passed away, which of course then makes everybody, oh my God, I've got to go and get this book. So I have to move over because the book's in the way. Look, I don't want to insult anybody here, but if you are truly, like, if you're a George Perez fanatic, then you already have this book in your collection. Okay, if you're a Todd McFarlane fanatic, you've got your Hulk 340, your Spider-Man #1, your Spider-Man 300, the Batman cover. You have the Spawn. You have those key books. Okay, if you're Claremont, if you're Kirby, if you're Neil Adams, you've got those classic covers. If you follow those artists, right now the spike in this is because people are like, oh my God, he passed away. Yeah, you know, I always wanted to get that book. And now it's in, you know, everybody's thinking about it, and everybody's trying to buy it, and the dealers are, well, I got 3 people interested, let me raise the price. Yeah, so I looked it up, and the raws, I'm just going to go by raw prices of this book, are going for $45, $50, whereas a month ago they were going for $25 in a high-grade raw. Let it fall off of everybody's radar. Give it another couple weeks. It'll be back down to $20 for our high-grade raw, then pick one up then. I don't even have to make that on a Remember Me. Just wait 2-3 weeks. Put a Post-it note on the fridge. So, speaking of Remember Me's, like I said, I have 1.5 picks. How the heck does that work? Let me explain. So, for those of you who are new to the channel, a Remember Me pick is, I've said in here several times, there are books that we don't want to buy right now because it's too hot. We want to wait till everybody forgets it. Now, everybody includes you and me. So my job right now is to remind you, hey, remember this book that we said months ago, don't get? The price has come down. It's now at this level. It should have a good chance of going back up. This is the book going, Remember Me. Well, here we go. I'll give you the half pick first. And the reason it's a half pick is because I've said it before. I actually said it before, and I'm giving it as a half pick because we're getting a little later in the year. The price has come down about as far as I think it's going to. We have the show coming up in October, and I'm reminding you a second time. If you want to pick this book up before the trailer drops, before people start talking about it again, and have an opportunity to try to flip it or just want to get it before it goes up in price. By the way, after the show is over, I think it's going to go back down. So this is an investment one. I'm not purchasing it, but give it to you. The Werewolf by Night, #1. Remember this one? Right. It's the 2021 first appearance of Jake Gomez. Now, when they first announced that there was going to be a Werewolf by Night Halloween special, everybody speculated on this particular book, and I still think it's true. 9.8s at that time were selling for around $400. 9.8s now we're selling for as little as $125. Now, this is because of two things. One, when it shot to $400, a lot of people sent in their raws and they've gotten them back. So now there's a lot more of them on the market. And two, not everybody's looking for what's coming out on a Halloween special in May. So this is your opportunity to try to get one for the $125, $130. You know, be frugal on this one. Try to get it for a good price. When the trailer drops and people start seeing, oh yeah, Werewolf by Night, it's not going to hit the $400 mark again. But it could easily hit $250 and you could double your money. So that's my half pick. It's because I've talked about this before, as you remember me, but I'm reminding you again because you're going to see a trailer for this not too long in the future. They will start talking about it. Second is, this is a full pick. This is a book that everybody was hot on because it was coming to the WB or CW or anything with a W, which is wah, 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 wah. Well, Naomi #1. Everybody was super hot on this book because it was coming, and halfway through the first season, they canceled it. They said, no, this is not working. They canceled it. Now, this book has dropped in price quite a lot. It's half. 9.8s were going for $200. Now they're going for $100 because everybody's dumping this book. This is still a very popular character. I know that DC wants to, they want to revamp everything and become like the MCU. They're going to need those characters that the fans like. Now, if they really do become like the MCU, the MCU started with the big ones, Spider-Man through Sony, and the Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, the Avengers, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther. They started hitting all these main characters, and now where are they? They're at the America Chavez. They're at the Miss Marvel. They're at She-Hulk. There's talk of Spider-Woman or Silk or something else. Those characters that are a little bit less known, they need to use them. If DC follows the same formula and builds up a full universe that everybody really does enjoy, they'll hit with their Batmans, their Supermans, their Green Lanterns, their Green Arrows, and Zatanna and everything else. And then they're going to start saying we need those characters like the Miles Morales and the ones that are for the next generation. Naomi is primed for that. So whereas $200 will get you a 9.8 before, $100 now. And if everybody's dumping it, I wouldn't be surprised if you can get it for 80, 90. Okay, this is when people are trying to get rid of it. This is when you scoop up a copy or two. Because it's not really going to go much lower than 80 or 90. Even if it never comes to fruition, 80, 90 bucks will still slowly go up over time anyway. But if it does hit, that's a great one to have. So there you go. My 1.5 picks of Remember Me. Guys, do you agree with my picks? Did you remember to click like and subscribe and click on notifications? And tell a friend. Just open up that window and say, hey, Norman, what? Ohana Comics, leave me alone with that. Yeah. Guys, I hope you had fun. Thanks for joining yet again. I want to get this out there so I can get a few more videos recorded. I got my Basset Hound over there sleeping on the couch. He's enjoying it. He knows when I come down to record, he can go over there. It's another thing I have in common with JP. He has his dog in the room, but JP's dog actually winds up barking or whining because he wants attention. My dog, he just wants the couch. He just wants to sleep. And be near me. So that's good. Guys, thanks for joining yet again. And until I see you, mahalo.